People have a lot of different things that they draw on for coming up with concepts for characters. The character I'm portraying tonight's an ancient vampire, about 2,000 years old. This character is insane. He believes that he's a representative of a much higher philosophical power as opposed to just being a vampire. He is, to some degree, angelic. When I found a statue of a Roman emperor who had jointly ruled with Marcus Aurelius called Lucius Verus, he was deified after his death. Sort of finding that bust and reading the history sort of helped me shape a lot more the concept of how the character is portrayed.
To put it simply, each player is in complete control of their individual person or persona. The storyteller is the rest of the known universe. We fill in the rumours that they hear, things that are going on in the city, what the media is up to lately, what the police are doing, that sort of thing. Game on.
Madam, your guests have arrived.
Your Majesty. So good to see you. Mr. Addington.
Possibly the major difficulty that a number of people have with coming to grips with how the game is played is how do you actually interact with each other. It's conversational primarily. There's no running around the place and there's no screaming and bashing of swords or anything like that. All combat is handled through a relatively detailed but fairly straightforward system of challenges.
The game mechanics are relatively simple. To keep it in really basic terms, say we were playing now and my character wanted to hit you. Okay, now obviously I can't do that because one of the major rules we have is no physical contact with other players, just so nobody gets uncomfortable. So if my character wanted to hit you, say, or to reach out and touch you, you know, I would say I will dexterously reach out and grab your shoulder. And you would say perhaps, well, I'm agile enough to dodge out of the way, at which stage it comes down to a physical challenge.
Or a perception. I'm alert enough to tell what manner of creature you are.
Right, freeze. What she's doing is using one of her disciplines to have a look at your aura and see if you're a mortal or a vampire. Okay. Okay, so you do the whole rock, paper, scissors thing, like we went over. If you win, you don't have to show her a thing.
Once everything's all set up, the storytellers will give us a bit of a pep talk, give us perhaps some background into what's been happening recently.
I need a little bit of help with everybody to sort out the premonition meeting before we start playing. Okay, it takes about 5 minutes, so if we can help move stuff around. Straight after that, I need people from the Anarch game to come over for the crossover plot.
Once the storytellers brief people like myself playing characters which are strongly controlled by the storytellers, me and the people who will be assisting me in my role, my sidekicks or archons, make our various entrances to the venue as we turn up in character.
Animal's playing an archon, which is an assistant to the Justicar. I'm playing Drake, leader of one of the local Anarch group, which are kind of like rebellious teenagers for the Kindred. And when Animal does this, it means he's obfuscated. Basically means he's invisible, so none of the characters can see him. Alright, ready? Let's get into character and do it. Yo, what's up?
I know, Drake, you call this, you tell us.
Alright, what's everybody know? Make it fast.
Well, I've noticed that the Ventru Primogen's got a new toy mortal in tow.
That boy's not mortal. He's been embraced, he's one of us.
Small potatoes, boys and girls. Lucian's coming to town.
Kidding?
Nah, man, let's get out of here.
So if somebody actually gets damaged during the game, how does a player deal with that?
They roleplay it. You know, if your character gets hit, you roleplay the effects of being hit.
So
nobody can obviously touch you, so you just pretend you've been hit, if you will.
So you mean you act out what happens to your character?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously you're not going to take off your own leg,
right?
But you'll limp, say, if you get hurt in the leg. If you get a shot here, you'll hold there and gasp in pain. If somebody tries to control your mind and you're fighting against it, you sit there and wail at somebody holding your head, trying to control your head, and you're fighting back. The whole thing is about role-playing. It's not about numbers and statistics on a piece of paper.
All the people who are involved in the game are performing some sort of role, whether it be one that's appointed to them by the storytellers or whether it be the actual character that they normally play.
Now, about that little fracas we had earlier.
I must humbly apologise for Mr. Addington's breach of propriety, Your Excellency. I can assure you he will be most harshly punished.
Yes, I'm sure he will. However, I'm much more concerned about how this situation came to arise in the first place. When I return, I trust I shall not have to reevaluate your position in our society.
You walk into a game with a set of objectives and goals. And as long as somebody walks out the other end saying, wow, that was a great game, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and did you feel the tension in the air when various things were described? And everybody felt what your character was going through when you tried to role play through that. That's what it's all about, you know. It's just getting into it, acting it out, and having a bit of fun.
Drake, no. I forcibly stop you.
Dexterity dodge. See ya. Just came in to welcome the latest of the undead.
You can't really make them too much a part of yourself. You have to maintain a strong degree of separation.
Lady, when your Jessica finds out about this, I really not be here.
Mr. Drake,
Jessica, Lucy.
delighted to meet you. I'm determined that you're going to come with me and tell me all about this.
I'm too disciplined to go with you. Or not.
You can get just a little too heavily into the concept. It's a game. It's something we do as a pastime. It's not something that we exist in.